Welcome to the 5th edition of Dry Fly Adventures. As you can see, it's a bit different setting than what we normally fish. We're in the high country. We're at a lake called Enos Lake. It's in the Payette National Forest. We walked in yesterday. It's about a 12-mile walk in here, and all of us are feeling a bit of the pain of it. In today's episode, we want to show you an experience in the mountains and maybe give you a little assistance on how to set up a camp, how to cook your menus, how to fillet a fish, how to gut a fish, how to do the things that are necessity when you're 12 miles back in and have to get things done a proper way. We'll also share some recipes with you and ideas about how to cook your fish in the high country. The guest that we'll have on our program today is Nathan Brumley. He does all of the music for us in all of our videos. He's basically our music guy. But the thing that most people don't know about Nathan is he can fish too. In today's fishing edition, fishing the high country is just a whole lot different thing than maybe what you have ever done before. In these mountain lakes that you see that we're at right now, the water is basically crystal clear. The fish have great visibility, and a lot of the fishing in the high country has to do with stealth. It's using the environment and those little pieces of shrubbery that you have along a lake to be able to sneak in and be able to catch these larger fish. They're very leery. They can see perfectly out of that clear water, so it is a different kind of fishing, and we'll try to give you some insight about that as we go.
Hi, my name is Nathan Brumley, and I do the music for Dry Fly Innovations. And today I'm going to be doing some fly fishing on Enos Lake here near McCall, Idaho. And I do a lot, like I mentioned, I do a lot of the music for Dry Fly, and I have 3 different bands that I'm in. My main group is just my solo name, Nathan Brumley. I have an indie rock band, The Bitter Selway, and then kind of a dance pop group, which is called World Cup. And all 3 of those bands are used throughout the Dry Fly videos. So I hope you enjoy what you see today and that you learn a little bit more about how to dry fly fish in high mountain lakes. The pattern I'll be using today is a black flying ant, which is something that's kind of the go-to bug for high mountain lakes. This is probably one of the best and most consistently good flies that I've used. And this is what I'm going to be fishing mainly with today. So we're in a good spot here because we're shaded, but I can see out in the water, so it's a pretty good ambush spot here. So, little dinker out in the water there. Oh, there's the dinker. That was the guy who just jumped out there. So this would definitely be on the small end of the range of fish at this high mountain lake. You have to be a little more stealth in a spot like this. Water's so calm right now. Become a little bit more visible with the sun coming up. Yeah, I can't do that right hand over the shoulder, like going the opposite way. Oh, I got it. That was actually a delayed set.
Nice take right here.
Okay.
Careful with it, careful.
Yeah. Oh geez. Oh my gosh, dude, there's a huge fish right here.
Get him.
Watch this, watch this, watch this. That's a nice fish. He'd probably go 15. Of course I say that now, but always seems like when I get him to the shore, he's like a minnow. That ain't a minnow though.
That's a nice fish.
Not a large fish, but
That bastard.
actually that's a big fish right there.
Oh my goodness.
Where are you thinking?
Right here.
Where at? Oh, I gotcha.
Just slide him into the...
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Now grab. Okay, here, I got your rod.
Okay.
And don't grab the line.
Yeah, there we go. Gosh, how perfect is that? Like total clearance from the... I turn around and look, but I probably get a bite in the meantime. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. That's the biggest fish of the trip right there. Well, not my desired customer, but...
Oh, did you see that big fish come after it? He's still going after it.
Dude.
Did you see that?
I did. Shoot.
There he is.
They eat little fish like that?
Get him in.
Do they eat little fish?
Yeah, nice catch.
Oh, that's right on top of it.
Ah, yeah! She was too good to be true, bro.
Shoot. Jeez. Wow.
Spicy little guy.
It's pretty close. Jeez. Wow. Man, that thing bit with the force of 5 fish.
Let's migrate.
Yeah. Jeez. Shoot, right there. How'd that happen?
Get on. I'm not seeing him.
There he is. He's big. He's big. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was a nice fish too.
Yeah.
Ah. Wasn't a pretty set.
Right here, right
Wow.
here. Just go easy. He's right underneath us. He's coming my way. Right underneath you right now. There you go. Did you not eat your fly?
Coming.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Did you get him, Sammy?
Your body was just right squared away. I might have got just the tip of it.
Bro, can you help me?
Yeah, what do you need help with?
He's coming.
Okay. Oh gosh. Man, you'd have to give me the,
I'll just slide him in that little chute right here.
okay.
Came right to it.
You sure did.
Jeez.
And don't grab the line, whatever.
Yeah, oh yeah, not with the fish.
There's hold right there.
Oh,
Jeez. Wow.
did you get that take?
That was a nice take. Wow.
Did you get that one, Sammy?
What's funny though is that, man, even the small ones bite aggressively. Not to say that that's not a small fish, but
Hey, watch your mouth.
it's right there. Oh, double dose.
What? Another big fish?
Big fish here, small fish on.
Wouldn't you know it?
Yeah, it's, they're just so fat that when they roll their back, when they roll their back, they look like a big fish.
Well, that's a pretty nice fish.
Or they look like a bigger fish than what they should be.
You can slide them just kind of
Oh, yeah.
sideways and then just bring them right in along the edge of the bank. There you go.
That's a better spot right there.
Yeah, that's perfect right there. Wait just 1 second. Okay, hold on.
Really big fish over here. Working in tight.
That was a pretty nice one.
Oh, that's a nice fish. Can you reach him?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. That's a big fish right there. I hope I can keep this fish because that's a nice one.
So basically what he's trying to do here is he's walking out as far as he can because the big fish are cruising the transitional lines between shallow and deep.
Yeah.
And he's the only one brave enough to get down to his undies and make a cast into it. As you can see, the sun is gleaming off of those white legs. Oh! You see that ring? Yeah. It's a big fish.
He's out there. In the ballpark. There he is.
That's a big fish.
How big is he? Think?
Guy right there. Oh yeah, baby.
Oh, geez. Wow, that pretty much beats anything we caught. So.
Look at the colors on that son
Wow.
again. Look at that. Look at the, hold my rod, Dave.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Look at the colors on that son of a gun.
That's a fat old fish.
I mean, look at that.
Crazy fish.
Get him in the sunshine. Jeez. What's your hurry, dude? We're here at a little satellite lake above Enos, and we thought maybe we'd show you the appropriate way to gut a fish. So we'll start with the process. Here's a fish that we just caught, and the way I'm going to start here is I'm going to start with my knife just above the bunghole. I'm going to come down through and cut that fin off completely. I'm going to turn the fish in my hand this way, and I'm going to take the knife and run it full length up the belly. Now, if I were catching smaller fish, I would now cut the head off right there. On larger fish that you want to fillet, you'll take your finger in, run it straight up the back of the fish, pop it through the gill cover, go across and pull the other fin and snip right there. And what you have is this beautiful clean fish, and after a little bit of a rinse, he's perfect. And all you have to do is take him to the fillet table. Now we finished gutting the fish at this point in time, and you can see a nice clean belly up the middle. And this fish at this point in time is ready to fillet, and this fish is even small enough to where you could cook him in a pan. But that's the appropriate way to gut a fish and do it efficiently. Well, we've landed a couple of big cutthroats here, and because we're 10 miles back in the wilderness, we have to kill a few fish. It's something we hate to do, but this is what we count on to eat when we're in the high country. It's a 10-mile walk into Enos, so you have to have protein, and these big cutthroats are a valuable source of protein. And while we have him out here, just show you just a little bit about maybe how to fillet a fish out in the wild. The first thing that you do is find a log that has a flat surface on it, because you need a flat bed. Always start your knife just underneath the gill cover, run your knife up to the top of the head, and you'll feel it catch the backbone. Turn your knife, and then feel for the backbone, and let your knife slide down the backbone, and let the bone be the guide, all the way past the dorsal fin, and then you'll feel the bone, and lay your hand across the fish, bring your knife through, and then you're going to run it all the way to the tail of the fish, just like this, making sure that your knife is flush against the bone, and that way you're generating all the meat you can from the fish. Now slide your knife inside your cut to the edge of the rib cage, and then you're going to snip the very edge of the rib cage and run it all the way through, just like this. And that slab should begin to fold off of the bone, and what you're going to end up with is a beautiful piece of fish meat, just like that. Lay them out on the flattest point you can on your log, And the edge right here, we want to take the belly meat off of that fish, just like that. Trim it up, snip that off, set that aside, and then start with your knife at the tail. Make sure you got the fish on a level setting. Start your knife at the tail and slide the knife along the edge of the skin. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take that whole slab of meat completely off the skin. Now it's caught, and we're just going to go all the way to the top. Now, because of the size of this fillet, we're going to have to cut it 3 different pieces, just like that. And what you have when you're done is 3 beautiful pieces of fish meat. Now, the backside of the fish is always the more difficult to do, but if you start your knife at the dorsal fin, poke the knife in through the dorsal fin and catch the spine of the fish. And then again, let the knife be your guide. Let the tip of your knife come clear to the head of the fish. Cut around the gill cover. Now bring your knife back down to the dorsal fin and then run it right down the bone. You can hear the bone as I'm running that along the bone. And we're just going to run it all the way out to the tail and stop right there. Now, we've separated the fish now. Now we have to find the rib cage. And we're filleting backwards here. So running your knife along the rib cage, what we're doing now is we're just peeling the fish off the bone and bring it all the way to the side. And now we're separated. And what we have is a beautiful piece of fish meat, just like this. There's one small bone in that. We'll take that bone out. And again, you have to get rid of the belly meat, slipping your knife in, running, and we're removing that lower fin on the fish. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slide up through. That's a slimy little son of a gun. We're going to slide up through to here, set that over. Now, starting the knife again at the tail, slipping your knife in on the skin. Now we have to find a nice flat spot to run our knife. And then we're just going to work the meat right off of the skin, just like this. And your knife will slide right along the skin and the meat. And what you have is a beautiful piece of fish meat. And later on, we'll show you just exactly how to make recipes out of beautiful fish meat, just like this. And what you have when you're all done is you have a skeleton that looks just like this. And virtually no meat left on the skeleton, 2 pieces of skin, and all the fish meat in a pile. Now this is your typical camper firebox. As you can see, it's in a circle, and there's no way that this firebox will support a frying pan or cooking pan. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and make a real firebox out of what this guy looks like. And if you look down there and you see that fire ring, there's no way that you can manage a fire or build a firebox, have a firebox with coals underneath both your frying pan and your saucepan, looking at it like that. So we're going to rebuild this fire pit right here to where it accommodates a frying pan and a pan. And what we're doing now is we're digging the pit for our coals, and we're going to build our firebox then around this pit. We've got the rocks cleared away at this point, and we're clearing out the bottom. So what we have is an indention down in the ground that we're going to plant the fire, and then we'll build the coals underneath the firebox that we're going to create above it. So once we get this cleaned out, we'll start to stack our rocks again, and then we'll move it back into position. Now we've cleaned out the base of our firebox, and as you can see, we've got the back wall semi-built here. Sheer sides to where you have the coals in the bottom, and that you can place a frying pan and it will balance perfectly over this little spot, and this will be the frying pan side of the box. We're going to continue this along this edge, and then we'll build another place that's a little bit more narrow and we'll build it for the pan. So we'll have a fire box that will work from both sides, frying pan on one side and a saucepan on the other. We're working on the frying pan right now. So in order to know our widths and our size, what we have to be able to do is we have to be able to take the frying pan and position it to make sure that we got our placing right for our rock structure. And it's very easy to do. As you can see, we're a little bit wide. So what we have to do, we have to move in the bottom of that rock and plant it to where we are a little bit tighter on the box on this side. So these are all custom made exactly for your frying pan. Well, now we have created the basics of the firebox. At this point in time, we have a place that we know that we've leveled out for the frying pan. Looks a little bit like this. And that frying pan should sit quite level right there and be supported on three sides. That's very important. Should be able to get plenty of coals underneath that, and we should be able to make a pretty good go from that side. And then from this side, what we have, so we've got the perfect little spot when we support the edges, the perfect little spot for our saucepan. So now what we've created is a real firebox that you can actually cook from. You can put your pans down, you can set them there, you can stir them, you can turn, you can do whatever you want to. They're on a solid base with a lot of hot coals underneath them. That's just exactly the way we want our firebox to look, right there. Now what we're going to do is support all the edges, make sure that we open it up as much as we can, and the firebox is basically complete. So that's what it looks like. We started by clearing the firebox completely, and this is what the end product looks like. And as you can see, we've built a position for each of the pan and the saucepan to each be in contact with flames and be inside a contained box. You never have to worry about creating a forest fire. You've got your fire ring, but it's situated to where it's all set up to be able to cook efficiently over the top of coals. And they'll position, your pans will position perfectly. No matter how you set it, they'll position perfectly and level over the top of the coals. So we've created just a natural burner where the inferno will put off heat right underneath each of the pans. But this is the basic technique of making a firebox. We're going to share with you now one of our favorite recipes for high mountain trout. And oftentimes you're in on a backpacking trip for 4 or 5 days and you can't just fry a fish and fry a fish and fry a fish. So basically you have to be creative about what it is you can do here. There's limited resources, but I always pack with me on a backpacking trip 3 onions. 2 if they're large, 3 if they're small, but you got to have your onions on your backpacking trip. It's really important. Either way, the recipe we're going to make for you right now, we're going to do a little broached trout, and here's what the recipe looks like. So let's do the recipe now for broached trout. We're going to start in the bottom of the pan. We're going to put a layer of butter all the way around the bottom of the pan. About 4, well, I don't know how they measure butter, but about 4 nice shots of butter, about like this, in the bottom of the pan to start. Now, really important that you start out this way. You get the butter in the bottom of the pan, and then what you're going to want to do is you want to layer the bottom with onions. And this is going to protect any of the fish from dropping down into the mixture and overcooking. So it's going to create a lot of moisture. And the moisture that is created is going to permeate up through the fish, and you're going to get this beautiful combination of a nice little oniony fish, plus the juices are going to soak up in there. And we do this recipe with wild rice, and wild rice is a great combination on this. So all we're doing at this point in time, we're just putting a nice little layer across the bottom of the pan, just about like that. Now, the whole recipe is all based on layering the fish in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to a little batch of fish here, and I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper that fish, and just a nice little coating of pepper. And I really like to pack Tony's seasoning along with this. A little bit of a Cajun flavor in this is really, really good. But we forgot the Tony's. So what we're dealing with is what we got, and that is salt and pepper. So what we're going to do is just salt everything, pepper everything, and we're going to create layers in the pan. You have to keep in mind, this is a slow cook recipe. You have to have your coals all the way burnt down, and then you begin the process of cooking. When you're cooking it, you're going to cover it, and what you're going to listen for is just this nice little gurgle that actually happens inside the pan. You don't want it to boil too hard, and you don't want it to cook too hard. You want it to just broach in its own juices, is what you're trying to accomplish. So we'll make the first layer right here, all the way across the pan, just about like this. Now, we're going to take the onions again, and we'll cover the whole top now with onions across the top of the fish. We're just going to layer this all the way to the top. And by the time that we're done, we're going to have a whole plate full of a combination of onions and a little bit of seasoning, and then we're going to cook that out really, really slow. You want to save enough onion in your little mix here to have some over the top. So let's put another layer of fish in here. Now when you put this on the burner, you're going to cover it. You can actually use a heavy-duty paper plate, or I actually like to carry a metal plate along with me, and it makes a really nice tight cover. But you want this really, really tight. And the other thing you don't want to do is when you start cooking this, do not even look at the fish for at least 45 minutes. You want these to just simmer in their own juices, and there'll be this beautiful base and this beautiful juices that are in this pan. So we're going to finish it out by putting just a few of the onions here over the top, just about like this, and we'll make a nice little layer over the top. We've got the butter in the bottom of the pan, so it's going to create a juice right off the bat. And what this is going to do is just sit and broach in its own juices, just about like that. Now, we've got it at a point right now to where we're pretty much ready to go. When you start the process of cooking, what you'll want to do is turn the pan over, or turn the plate over just like this, push it down inside to where you got an actual lock in, just like this. And that way there will be no juices that will escape from there. And we're going to put a rock right here in the middle so everything just cooks down together. Now, when this is all done, we'll show you what the end result actually looks like. So this is the finished results of the layers of fish that you saw us prepare earlier. And you can see it's just got a nice little juice base to it, and we're going to put it over the top of wild rice and long grain rice. And this is the finished product.
We're here at a small satellite lake that adjoins into the major lake of Enos. We've heard reports that there are some pretty big fish in this particular lake. That's yet to be seen. He's moving this way. There he is. Really, really nice. Is that some pretty colors, Jeffrey?
Okay.
There's fish right there. What's that?
Got him.
Cool. There's a fish. We finally found a little spot here on the lake that's a little bit deeper. What we're going to do here is we're going to sneak in here. We're going to keep that rock right there in front of us, and then we're going to work in here tight, and then we'll work that deeper water out beyond us. There you go. Hang on, Ned.
That looks like a ding, 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 ding.
There's a fish underneath you.
Where?
Right underneath you.
Right, how far?
Right there.
Okay. How big?
About a foot.
Right there? That ought to be a nice take. Oh, there he is. That looked like a pretty good one. Look at the red on that sucker, Jerry. Holy cow. Up he comes. I'm speaking now in behalf of Jeffrey. Jeffrey has a great love for a fly we tie called black gold. And even though we don't use it in high country very much, we just made 2 casts and hooked 2 fish on a black gold. There he is. Just look at how red that thing is, Jeffrey. Jeez, look at that. I mean, that's ridiculously red. He just took it. There he is, right there. Oh yeah, just crunch right into the rock then. I guess there's the fish out there. Let's see if we can reach that. Whoa, that's a bigger fish. Oh wow. Gosh darn it. I was setting up to make a long cast and boom, this guy came up and did it. Okay, up on the grass. Oh, here's a fish right here that just rose. Let's see if we can conjure him up. There he is right there. The action is hot and heavy, Jeffrey. Up we come. They are on that red ant. Big time. No ifs, ands, or buts. Coming up. That fish right there? Right here?
Yeah.
That's the fish you want? Is that the one you want? Right there? There he is. Perfect. Perfect take. Just a perfect take.
Got it.
Now to Nathan.
Same procedure, bro.
Yesterday when we were fishing, we were in the middle of a red ant hatch, and we've changed off to a red ant pattern today, and it's been just lights out. Whoa. Now that's a tough guy to follow right there. Okay. Ready? Up he comes. Fly.
Got it.
And gone.
Got him.
Perfect. It's a little nicer fish.
I can zoom in right there.
Right there. Fish.
Got him.
Nice release. There's my trophy of the day, Jeffrey. What? Oh, geez. Right there he is. Coming up. He's a feisty little guy, Jeffrey.
Hi, Nate Brumley with Dry Fly Innovations. You know, whenever it's September in the high country, you can almost count on one type of hatch that is going to happen. If you're going to hike into higher elevations, you are going to see some red flying ants. Here's what this guy looks like real on the hand of Jeffrey when we were filming together, and you can see exactly what that bug looks like. Now, let's go to the fly tying table and let's recreate the bug that's on Jeffrey's hand, and that was the key player on our trip to the high country when we fished Enos during the 3-day window. So let's tie a red flying ant. So to start with, let's go ahead and get the thread started right here at the eye of the hook. And we're going to move it now down to the turn in the hook. In fact, on the red ant, you want to go just a little bit beyond the turn to about that point right there. We'll do a little trim off here. And the thing about doing an ant, most of the time if you buy a commercial ant, they try to over materialize the body segments. And what ends up happening is the second you get a fish tooth caught in that big wad of dub, it pulls the body segment of the ant completely apart. So you're then fishing an ant with a big old string hanging off of the back of it. We try to stay away from that by doing a really, really tight dub body, but don't overdo the dub and don't make it too big. So anyway, we're just going to bring the dub down right to the end, and I'm going to lock it in there. You can see by pulling on that, I'm locking it in at the end so it won't slip down around the turn of the hook. The next phase, that looks pretty good for an ant abdomen on the backside, keeping in mind it's bigger toward the tail than it is toward the head. So the next process is mounting the wing, and the wing that we use on a flying red ant here is what's called a delta wing. I'm going to slide it in here, and I'm going to buzz the thread over the top here, kind of move it into place. Now, the other side, we'll come in from the back side, we'll lay it out and measure with the other side the wing, do a loose wrap over the top, hold it in place, and then we're just going to roll everything and making sure that the wings stay exactly in those positions, in that delta position, out over the abdomen. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to do the impression of legs in the center portion of the body, and we'll do that with a little bit of hackling. And we're using brown hackle in the middle of this particular tie. We're just going to slide the hackle in and tie it in just about there. We'll move it in. You do want a little body segment there off of the abdomen. So you want to make sure that you stop your actual dub, or not dubbing, but your hackling a little bit short of that abdomen section. Now what we're going to do here is just make a nice little thread layer, bring it back, and we'll do the last body segment on the ant. You don't need near as much dub to complete this task as what you did to do the big body segment at the front of the abdomen. You do, again though, you want to be conscious of your dub, and you want to make sure that anything it is that you do with your dub is super, super tight. And that way, when that fish gets a tooth in it, he's not going to dissolve your bug by pulling and the thread actually coming loose. A little wrap right in there, and then a nice tight little head here. So this is a finished red flying ant. Now what I'm going to do is I'll rotate it so you can get all the silhouettes of the tie that we just done. I'll rotate it forward now, and you can get an idea about the look of that delta wing and the splits that you'd like to see on that delta wing. I'll continue to turn it here now. And now you're looking at a view from the underside of the bug and the silhouette that you're seeing there. We'll move it back up to the point of beginning, and that is a finished red flying ant.
There he is.
Just zooming in on it.
He took it too quick, Jeffrey.
Get a little rod action in the mountain.
There you go. Yeah, you got to pick that up every so often. You know, it's a good standby. Another one of those beautiful colored fish. It's gorgeous. Look at the red on the belly of that fish. Get the end. Whoa. He was quick. Jeez, that looks like a nice fish. Go blip right over to him, Jibber. They always give you the big blow out there, like they're like they're a giant. That's a pretty nice fish, though. Oh shit! Get
Right there.
Jeffrey, you got a fish right underneath me here.
Got him.
Where he is, right underneath me. There he is. And he is one feisty son of a gun. Okay, anyway, look at that red-sided son of a gun. Jeez! There you go, now you got him. Now you got him. He's coming this way. There he is. Another fish right there. All of a sudden we're surrounded by fish. That's a pretty nice fish. Now go back.
Hold him up. Got him.
Here we go. We got a fish right in front of us. Oh, that was nice. Nice. Oh, geez, that wasn't. Which way was he going?
Right there.
There he is. This is a pretty red son of a. Look how red that thing is. Jeez. I mean, come on. How could you be any redder than that? There you go.
I got him.
And a release. Slow motion for us, will you? Now we're talking. There he is. This one's just kind of a shiny one. He's not quite so red. So going right underneath the darn rock. You know, look what he did to my line. He just absolutely frayed that tippet. You seeing this, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
There he is. I'm just gonna have to lift this guy. Ready?
That sounded a little better.
There he is. Beautiful green back on that fish.
Got it.
There he is. What a take that was, Jeffrey. Come back over here. Beautiful red sides. Look at that son of a gun.
Got it.
Whoa. You found where the big ones live, Nate. Another gorgeous, gorgeous cutthroat. Beautiful green back.
Got it.
Was he in the middle of the screen?
Yeah.
Got him?
Got it, yeah.
Jeez, you gotta be kidding. I just didn't even hardly hit the water. This one's kind of a yellow color. Different kind of cutty. Kind of the old style. See how golden colored he is? There he is.